I think I paid $3 for this head. It was a half hatchet, rusty old carpenter's hatchet. Look what you can go and take a $3 rusty old carpenter's hatchet's head, get it at a flea market, and turn it into something nice. See my arm moving around? It's on the wrist. And I'm letting this blade do the work for the most part. I've learned a long time ago that, you know, I used to go out and try and find the perfect piece, the most straightest grained ash, and it had to be like a perfect piece of hickory to carve an axe handle with. And over time, I figured out that it doesn't have to be. Early morning, just after 7, a little burgle. There's Bonzo. We hiked up the mountain. I was getting ready to start working on carving this into a hatchet handle. This is a piece of white oak I harvested a long while back. Not real long, maybe half a year ago, but I'm sure it's definitely seasoned enough. I already carved one hatchet handle out of the other part of this. So I was going to get to doing it with my WCSK, and I thought, what a perfect opportunity to make a little video. Carving a hatchet handle with my WCSK. Very versatile knife. And I've carved handles before with it, never on videos, so that's something y'all want to see. Stay tuned. Oh man, let's see if that works. I can use this almost like a small hatchet or tomahawk, like for doing woodworking tasks, like shaping this up. You know, it's not going to be as efficient as if I'm using my 2-pound Woodcraft pack axe or even like a 1-pound head on something. You know, it's not going to be as efficient as a carpenter's hatchet or a half hatchet, but it's efficient enough that I definitely don't mind carving a handle with it and using it for woodworking tasks. And I've done many since I've gotten it, since I bought this knife. And the longer you use it, better you get with it, right? But so that flat edge there is just, you know, that acts the same as an axe or a hatchet, you know, the blade. And then when you want to get real fancy, you got the tooth there if you're really trying to dig in. I don't know, I'll show you all the different things you can do with this knife for woodworking. Right now I'm just trying to get this a little shaped up, but I can use it the same way as I would. There's a little knot down in here. It's alright. Just gotta work it around a little bit. Yeah, I can use this. This is the same techniques I'd be using if I was using like a little carpenter's hatchet, tomahawk, anything like that. Burgle's trying to get decapitated. You little pecker. You're a peckerhead. Found something to keep them occupied at least. Hopefully this here's a good view. Burgle's sitting right there. Bonzo's over to my left. Just chilling. Making sure nobody sneaks up on us. Two-legged or four-legged. See how I kind of, it's all on the wrist, you know, I'm not sitting here, just gotta be real careful. Like it's all, you know, getting the wrist. And really, which I haven't even used it, but you got that little loop down there. Kind of keep it in your hand. Helps you even more. You could just be real limber with it. I'm letting the blade and the weight of this knife blade do the work a lot more than anything else, which conserves my energy. I hope I got this in camera, in the film. Like, you know, just look at this. It's all on my wrist. You see my arm doing much anything? See my arm moving around? It's all on the wrist. And I'm letting this blade do the work for the most part. Kind of work it up, then you get back down. Work your way down. Nice and easy. I'm not trying to dig in too deep, Burgle. I'm just kind of, you know, my stamina, I'm going to last a lot longer if I'm just taking it easy like this. If I want to sit there and go hard and take out big chunks, I mean, that's alright too, but I'm trying to be a little more finesse with it. Just getting it shaped out a little bit. Right down in here, there's a knot, so that's been giving me a problem right off the start. Be real careful. I have this piece of wood blocking my leg from this blade. So down here where I got that knot, I'm more using that tooth. Try and dig in a little more. Try and get that out. That's where a hatchet would come in a lot handier, make a lot shorter work of this. But for what it's worth, overall, not a bad tool option to carve a handle and do some woodworking. Of course, nothing's going to be perfect. It's not going to be as perfect as using a hatchet or an axe, but it's good enough to actually put in some good work. Getting up right up behind that tooth. Here, let me show you all this knot I've been messing with. Yeah, it's nice and tough right in there. I bet you it's that knot right there. I got one up here as well. That's alright. I've learned a long time ago that, you know, I used to go out and try and find the perfect piece, the most straightest grained ash, and it had to be like a perfect piece of hickory to carve an axe handle with. And over time, I figured out that it doesn't have to be. It does not. You know, you don't have to use ash or hickory. They may be the best, but this is a piece of white oak. I've carved locust handles. Now, there's reasons why some are better than others. Like the locust, it doesn't absorb the shock of your impact the way like an ash or hickory handle would. So it's a little harder on your joints. And if you have arthritic hands or tennis elbow or, you know, any form of ailment, it can be a lot tougher on you. So locust is not ideal for an axe handle, but I have a few that I've carved of locust and they work great. Gotta be real careful up here. Like, up in here, I don't want to take one of my digits off. Right, Burgle? What, dude? I don't want to lose concentration. This is another good little technique maybe for up farther up. Getting it up in behind that tooth there. Man, that works nice. Got a couple knots up through here, but that's all right. I'm gonna flatten this side out. I don't want to take too much off of this side. I just want to get that cambium layer and the bark, inner bark off. I guess the cambium layer would be the inner bark. Fancy way of saying it, as far as I know. But yeah, I'm not trying to take too much off of this side because I don't have a whole lot to work with this piece. But I definitely have enough. It's just I got to be real careful. One foul swoop and a little too much off, and then that's it. Have to go get another piece. That's all right. That's what happens sometimes, right? Just got to take your time. Kind of using that tooth down in here a little bit. It's not the best little workbench here, but it's what happens when you're up on top of a mountain trying to work on something. I don't have a stump up here to work on, get all fancy with, right? Just find an old dead tree laying across the mountainside. More fun this way. I like to be outside breathing green air when I'm working on my projects. That's why it's called Mountain Craft Outdoors. I'm up on a mountain outside crafting a project, right? That's where I came up with the name for the most part. Get this little look how flat that makes this. It does a really good job. Let's see. I got a little more to do. Really nice. A little more up towards the front. And this is some seasoned white oak. This isn't any kind of softwood. So the WCSK is putting in some good work on this piece here. Yeah, I've been using this little flat edge here just to get that flattened out. But this tooth works great when you're trying to dig in a little more. You know, get dug in with the tooth and then work back to your flat part of your blade to kind of just take off material. And then you got back in here, you want to use it kind of like a tracker knife in one sense, but you can use it kind of like a draw knife. You just kind of get locked in behind this tooth and you can take material off like that, like I've been doing. Works awesome. I'm gonna work on this couple more minutes, and then about time to get back down and go open up shop. So I hope, I'm pretty sure that will be thick enough for the hatchet head. So now I'm gonna take a little bit off these sides. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? Much more efficient than a regular old knife blade. Now usually when I get down to the fine carving, I'll get my Hobo Forge Puko out. But just for the sake of this video, all I'm gonna use to carve this handle is the WCSK. Start to finish. Because this knife can do some fine carving also. If you know, if you get used to it. Making a nice straight edge. Work on this side a little bit. And right now, all I'm doing is I'm turning this piece of wood into a handle blank. Turning this into a stave. Just kind of turn it into like a 2x4 shape. And then I can work on shaping it out from there a little easier. Burgle, as soon as I put the camera over there, huh? You're something, dude. Here, chew on this stuff. There. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Well, good little start. Got the sun coming up over the mountain finally. I don't know, what was that, half an hour of work? Starting to shape it out. I'm going to keep on at it and we'll get back to y'all in a little while. Sitting here carving on this and he's just sleeping in between my feet. Yeah, that's what you get for messing with the bowl. Get the horn. I never heard of that. Easy. Crazy boys. I may be cutting towards myself, but I have my elbow kind of wedged back here into my side. So, I don't know if y'all can see that. Like, I'm stopping myself before, like, if I'm just out here like this, cutting towards myself, I'm going to end up maybe cutting myself. But you got to have a little control. I'm getting up in behind that tooth there. But if I have my elbow back here, kind of towards my side or my stomach, then I'm not going to be able to pull this into my chest and cut myself. I feel like I get more control cutting like this instead of like this. Really, at this point, normally I would have already rocked this thing out with a spoke shave and a 4-in-hand rasp. But I'm using this just to prove a point that I can use just this WCSK to carve a hatchet handle. And you don't need any other tools. See, right up in here there's a knot, so that starts to dig in. You start getting in too deep, you want to spin it around, go the other way. You can always take more off. I'm just letting the weight of the blade kind of take a little bit of material off. Barely even doing anything, a little bit with my wrist. Pretty fine curls for a 3/16" blade, huh? Just using my wrist here. I'm not getting all crazy where I'm gonna slip, and trying to have good control of this blade when I'm cutting towards myself. If you can get used to doing it, I'm a big fan of it. I know they say don't cut towards yourself, but man, if you can kind of get that down, you know, just start off easy. Get used to it. Ends up being a pretty good asset. Pretty good tool to pull out of your little toolbox when you're out in the woods or you're carving on something. Just doing a little carving. I mean, when I'm carving towards myself, I can see how deep the blade is digging into the wood a little easier. Just got to have control, know where that blade is, where the edge is. Careful how much pressure you're putting down. Make sure you're not going to slip on out, because you can do some damage, especially with this knife here. Sucker's sharp. No joke. I'm gonna keep on whittling at this thing, but fully functional now. All I used, of course, I had to cut in the kerf line with coping saw is what I used, and a hammer to bang in a couple wedges. But besides that, I mean, I carved this thing with just the WCSK. I'm gonna keep on kind of whittling a little bit away at this thing, but for the most part, it's done. I think I paid $3 for this head. It was a half hatchet, rusty old carpenter's hatchet. Look what you can go and take a $3 rusty old carpenter's hatchet's head, get it at a flea market, and turn it into something nice. Don't cost you much of anything except your time. But I'm gonna get this thing finished up. Put a couple coats of boiled linseed oil on her and call her a day. I appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya. We got the second part of our double feature coming through this morning before I head back down the mountain. Old stump gnawer. Are you a stump gnawer? Not liquor? You are, aren't you? He's my big boy. Good boy.